Hello everyone, welcome to another visual programming. Now this one will be even more low budget than I usually, so I will not bother checking the live chat very often, but let's do it anyway, because it's fun. I mean fun. It will be fun for like 10 minutes and then it will be just boring work for an hour after. But it's worth it for those 10 minutes. Let's change the sound. If I pause this sound and do this sound instead, then you should be able to hear. You can hear. Okay. Cable A is working and microphone. Good. So let's get to it. So as you can see from the thumbnail, it's time to finally do it. To finally make the flow control. So edit my unit script, edit. Update is set. Let's hope, yes. Let's hope it doesn't like crash much. Maybe it will fix it, right? And then oh, at least it remembered the path. So everything except locally. And this install, run notepad, and it even opened the stuff. So let's see if they fix the bug with the call. How is it? And subtly tracking. Well, if I wasn't late, I would try to figure out what that is. But okay. Okay. And more. Go away. Okay, here we go. Well, what on earth is? Okay, let's just pretend that this isn't because the code is already being terrible. Well, let's go into execute, okay? So, ep command if equal if. So what do we want to do? Well, we cannot just manipulate the stack and stuff, right? We actually have to do others. So let's find where execute block is. Executed. So it just saves the block into current. Doesn't rewrite. But when it's executing the whole program, the next link will go into the next page. But if it is step by step, then it just saves this to current. Oh man, this will be tricky. I mean, it will be very complex. I mean, it would be easy to make this work with like a hack, but that may be bad because of several things. For example, it would be hard to implement other flow control blocks like a for cycle, and it will be hard to I mean, more importantly, it would be hard to do other form of execution. For example, a debug type execution where you can mark different blocks. Like imagine that I mark this block and then I go like autoflow, and when the program gets there it will stop. So that's one type of execution. Another one would be just step one block at a time each second. And another one would be to just flow everything at once, and another one would be to do it step by step. So all of these modes of execution need to work properly with the flow code. Now I can probably just have one code that will handle all of them. Maybe, but that's for the in the meantime. Why does it delete the variable here? What on earth is going on? Like it was like 2 days since I wrote this and I have no. Oh, this is the reset. Yeah, maybe I should write like a reset function and put that in there instead of this, because again I look at it, I have no idea about why is it deleted. Anyway, that's not it. What is important is to make the if block. So let's do this instead. Let's make quick and dirty solution and then make a proper solution later. So in the execute block we actually perform the if command on the stack. Now what do we do if it works? We will put 1 into if start the date. Is it spelled like this? And you know what? It goes 1 into if success else 0 into if success. And so what this will do now is it will remember this value for later. Or you know what, there's an even better. We had to do complete forever. So we start by reading from block by saving block next into text block link, for example. And then if the how do I want the if function? Well, if the if succeeds, then I want to continue in the normal route. So this will actually do nothing here. And otherwise I want to do block alternative into next. And this way, even if I do a different command like for or while, then I can do the logic in the command to like handle which way should the program be. So next. So here when I execute the block, it goes into the current. So maybe do that later. But here right after I execute block, let's read from this in. So this will be fine. Execute. But here it goes into current block, and next time it reads block now. So I need to do this, and I also need to initialize this. Block next to this, and when I reset the program, I need reset start block. Oh man, this is getting completely. But yeah, I think that's it. So let's add an if block. So data, there will be no data, and block create block. So let's add it to negative 300. Let's start here. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, that there's no compile error and we have everything. Perfect. So what happens if I do 1A? Then we check if A. 1A. It seems that the one was consumed, and it continues to A exit. If I click tab, then no. So reset. What if I do direct click? Then taking item from like now, the if should fail, so the next one should be like this. Perfect. What I need to do now is to make like an alternate branch to the side. So by right clicking I can edit this thing. So maybe shift right clicking will be able to edit the alternative. Yeah, I think that that can. So there is something handle rewire. Oh boy, this will be hard. Okay, so we will several categories. We will create new category called as alternate. So if we prepend this in front of something like this, so this is the name of the command, and if there is a variable with this name, we know that that command has an alternative output. So for now it will be just an if, but later it will be, maybe I will do the for loop, but so let's just leave it like this. So what do I want to do now? Okay, block. So before we do that, I need to check if the click block has this flag and if the shift is put down. So that will be left shift, get key, right shift, get key, or, and then we need to check for the start. So active block command, get list element, then we prepare the prefix, well the prefix can actually here, then we concat, and let's just ask if the variable exists. And if both of these are true, then let's do something like this. So block next. Okay, block next will actually be in the else, but here it will be block alternate, and it will go into track, or let's just use HR, drag out, for example. So block alternative, block next, into HR drag. So instead I save the drag output in Notepad, and when I cancel I use this, and when I confirm I use this as. Oh boy, is this getting confusing? But it's fine. Next we go into render block link, and when I so this is for the next block, right? I can probably just copy paste, but it's including, and instead of next let's go alternate. So block alternative, some horrible coding right here. Okay. Let's name it to alternative, because there could be, for some bizarre reason, and if block, and both of the answers will go into the same block, which I guess doesn't make much sense, but maybe you like need to quickly rewrite it, and if I didn't change it, then it would be, so don't worry about it. Oh, and also let's make the alternative line go like from. So the from, which is this I believe, instead of adding the half of the width, what is it? Oh, I need to do it. Let's add half of the height, and let's add the full width, so without this, and that should work hopefully. And in here, so I guess this depends on whether or not you want to. Hang on, so let me show what I mean. Yeah, this is getting worried. Anyway, so HR drag output. If the drag output is equal to the normal next block, then we do the normal stuff. Else, I can copy the lines. Well, this is like code to place it, but nah. Wait, what? Oh yeah, I will. Active here as well. And there we go. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong at all. Okay, so if I right click, then it goes from here already, and shift right click goes from there. Wow. So no normal right click does this, and shift right click. Okay, so the shift right click seems to work pretty well. It's just the normal right click goes from here. So what's wrong with the HR drag block? Oh, I'm reading from a computer. Wrong variable. So compile all. So this is fine. Shift right, because this is shift right. That's the alternative. So let's try it out. So once, so it should go this way. Perfect, and reset. Now it should go that way. Perfect. So we got a branching block. Now again, like those were the 10 minutes of fun actually implementing the block and making it work. And now it will be the hour of boring work. In order to like make it clear that this is the proper line and this is line and blah blah blah. Also, this is by no means height divided by 2. Did I use width divided by 2 instead? Yeah, that would make. Yeah, I use width. This needs to be height. And here, height divided by 2. Compile. So this is normal right click and this. Okay, so like I don't know. To be honest, at this point, I would just leave this series as it is. Like there's nothing much of interest, because from now on, like there's nothing new or interesting that I could do to make it usable, and all the interesting stuff is done. But I guess I could make list command, but like what's the point? Like I would just make a list commands here, like I did this one. I would put them in execute block here, like nothing special. I already did that, and when I wrote the debugger, I did that. Well, I could do something more interesting and say take a CRPL code and turn it into this. Now that would be interesting. Let me think. Well, I would need to, as it says, rewrite this function, execute a little bit. I would need to automatically generate this function, but that's fine. There's like a bunch of commands that need to be like specialized, like these variable commands. But other than that, like these, I can just copy paste the name of the command into the if, and it's done, right? So actually majority of commands, like basically all the commands that interact with the game, would be like this, and the majority of the rest of the commands, so only a select few commands. Oh, I know, I can make functions. Okay, so let's make functions. Now, let's make functions on the same page, and then let's like think about adding page. So how do I make a function? So let's go to execute button and add two new blocks. So eb command define equal. Now hang on, can you ever execute the define command? I mean, if you have a function definition and you link it with, then that doesn't make any sense. Like why would you? So the define command will never be called, but the call command. So in that case, I need to eb command this will be Well, this will be interesting indeed. I need to read the data, right? Which will be the name of the function being called. So EB function get list up. So this will be the function that can go in. EB data. Oh yeah, it will be with the add, like with the string. So I need to remove it using this string. That will be into EB funds. Okay. Or do I need to remove? Yeah. So I want to have like a function register. So the way it would work, you have this start block and the program starts at the start block, right? So you would have like function definition, and when you call a function, the program jumps there, it goes to, and then returns variable. Oh boy, is this going to be interesting? So I think I will right. I need to go into yes. I know how where it is. Only in the revive. Let's go back into execute and let's change execute. Let's change what I just changed, and that is this variable. This will get thrown out of the window completely, and instead a next block will be remembered. So the program will remember the current block and the next block. So if the current block is something that pushes some value, for example, and the next block is right. So when you click next, the if block is executed, the if block becomes the current block, and then in the execution of the if block, the next block is computed. So in order to do that, start block is current block, and then we reset the next block like this. Wait, if I click next, does the start block get executed? I think it does, doesn't it? Just the execute doesn't do anything. So I don't even need to do anything here because the start block will be executed. So the next block will be computed in the execution. However, I need to go into this and refresh the next block, right? Because it will be a variable that will point to a block, so I will need to add it into this refresher, so to speak. Okay, so here I check if I click on the step block, and if I do, then the next block gets computed like this. So I can just throw all of this away and just use the next block, right? Wait, hang on. What if something is the last? Okay, so the next block will be. Oh, this is the problem. Wait, what if the next block is like negative 1? Trouble? Because if the next block can... What do I do with? That's a good question. Well, I guess I can do next block negative. And that's all I need to do. This can get copy paste. Yeah, and let's add this checker to be extra safe. Yeah, looks okay to me. So by doing this, delete it will be fine. The next block variable can be negative 1 if the next block is wait, hang on. When I click execute, it executes the next block and not the current. Of course. So the current block isn't the block to be executed, it was the block that was already. So I guess I need to do this as well. So start block next, get block element, get list of. Oh, what if the next block is just an ID? Oh, that will be even. Okay, so let's do that. So block next, get list element into next block ID. So this will be even better because now I can just check that next block ID is not equal to negative 1, and then next block ID block get into EP block. That's fine. Yeah, execute, and then this will go into the current block, and the execute block will set this variable according, because there are commands in the execute block that will need this variable as they like. Okay, so this pretty much can be changed, and this can go away, and this can go away as well, I guess, or let's see, that's okay. Well, maybe some limit here to add. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so this will go away, but instead EB block next, get list command. Now that will go into next block A, because this is like the next by default, and here it will just be overridden in. Perfect. So now things are starting to line up. So in the call, I can just get the block by the function name and call that. Alright, because the call block will have a next block as well. Yeah, as I said, the call block will have a next block as well. But it will quite not work like that. So it will instead go into the function. So this will work quite well. So let's go over it one more time, make it work out. So now let's go with this and we can remove this. But I will be adding the stuff. Anywho. Well, let's hope this will work correctly. And in the meantime, let's do the function definition. Now that will be something. So we have an if block, be like here. So let's do function definition and function. So the definition will be define, I believe I am define and call. Now the define will have argument column. Now what will be the example function? Let's call it function. Very original. How about fn stands for function? Well, then it doesn't line up very well. If I do just so. Just so my OCD can be set. Yeah, looks perfect. Flawless. Function. Define and function. Oliver. Add set of columns. So let's go 4 and 3. Quickly. Okay, define call. Perfect. So if I middle click on this, it lets me redefine the name of it. Perfect. Now I also want a return. That will return from a function. Because remember, you cannot return from a function with the normal, like connecting the end of the function to where the function was called. It doesn't. So now the blocks will like overlap there. Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, the space is getting a little bit cramped, but that's fine. Like we can move it around. Hang on, what if I do? Yeah, I can cancel. Okay, increase X here. Fine. Yeah, perfect. Absolutely nothing wrong with whatsoever. This is a save to game. Now, let's get to it. Now this call function needs to find this define block. Now how to do it? Go over all the blocks. Well, once you create a block, you cannot change the type of it. You can only destroy. So I'm thinking maybe if you create a define block, it gets registered. So the function calls will go only over the defined. Alternatively, there could be a cache from the defined box name. I mean, from the function name into the block that directly. Now that would be better, but it would be harder to maintain. When you, for example, change the name like this, right? Oh, there we go. For example, to function 1, oh, numbers doesn't. To function 1, then I would need to listen for this change and update that hash. Also, when you create 2 of them, like I would duplicate this and rename the new one, it would be hard to keep track of. So I think I will just keep track of the defined blocks, and when I call a function, I will have to search between. So it's like a half measure. It will not be as effective as needed, but it will also not be as slow as the completely trivial solution. So this will mean that create block, create list. I will need 2 lists, and one will be a defined block, and create list into closed. Now, I need to go over here, and both of them will be. But what if I just keep the IDs then? No, that's not perfect. Let's just keep the blocks then. Call it directly. So that means I will need to refresh them in this awesome method. Okay, so basically just copy paste this, but replace this with this. Oh, this is pretty simple. So there we go. Problem solved. Now when I create block, I need to check register. So if the command define equal if, then I need to register it into the define block. Or define, what is it called, define block instead of define blocks. Big mistake. Then so define blocks, okay, and just add this block here. Append list. Now in block destroy will be the same. So if the command of the block is equal yeah, I see the problem here. This is again like a comparison on lists is completely busted. It just checks if the length is this. So I have to do block ID, get list element, and on the block itself again block ID. But hey. In the meantime, let's do yes. Alright, register. Register blocks. Oh, define blocks, yes. define block. I can actually completely copy paste it. Oh, this should be getting like it's fine. Get list count, then this. Okay, so it. Alright, but I only need to do this if the block type is defined. So BC block command get list element define equal if, then we do it. Perfect. So now we can go back to block execute and go into the call. Now we have the function name. So we try to get the block. But you know what? Let's do this. Let's add the add symbol for the function name direct. Oh no. So this will be with add, to define. This way I can more easily search for the appropriate define. Okay, get list count. 0 loop. Or you know, let's forget it. Define blocks. I get list element. Hang on. This is I'm thinking how I want. Yeah, let's do it like. So let's put -1 into execute block. Now get list element. Alright, block data. Get list element again. If it equals this function name, hang on, once we get the element, let's duplicate, and if it equals, let's put this duplication right here. Otherwise we want to get rid of it, and also we can break it. No need to search for it. Now let's do something here. Now for the next block ID, well, that will be this block, but also what? Also I forgot. Also we need to add the current block onto the stack, right? Where is it? So the call stack will receive the EB block so that we remember to go back here when we get the equal if and so with the return command let's do that way, but for now let's see if this. So what if I go into this call and from the tab and what? Shall I complete the break it? That seems like the next block ID doesn't. Oh, first there's this get list. Yeah, so I guess let's try to going into one, then into all, and it just doesn't work. What? I mean, this cover. Don't it? So just the normal step function work at all. What is going on? If the next block I not equal, so maybe like this doesn't get it at all. Let's see what is this. I got this one, but I initialized the one block here. Let's see if I have this. Something is really so where else is this getting from execute program? But I don't think I call it from execute block, but execute block isn't being called here, is it? How can it be negative? Think so. Okay, let's find all the instances when I write into and see what's going on. So I read. Here I write, so read. Here I write, so just read. Making block 3. Here I write, so E. This gets later into it, so okay. And duplicate that. Well, this is why a debugger would be. In debugger, you could just say break on writing into this variable, and then you would like click compile all, and then you would click like go, and it would say, oh, here the program brought into the variable like this value, and so that would be really nice, but also really hard. Like you can see with this, if I wanted to add such a debugger into this method, then my head would double. So I cannot complain that. No step. -1a. So in this oh, this is in the once block before you do the wiring. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Well, ideally you would have two modes, right? One when you move the blocks around and make the connection. Another mode where you can just execute the program, but you cannot move it around. I mean, think that would be the optimal thing. Because like how do I even fix this? No, honestly, like the next block is determined as soon as the current block is executed. That's pretty much. When you execute the current block, when you enter the current block, you cannot change the next block by rewiring. This is really bad. You know what? I'm going to go do a quick solution first, and then I'm going to do a proper solution later. This can actually go back. I'm going to comment it out and do paper. And here let's just pretend that this doesn't exist. To do fix this. Alright. Okay, so I guess it will work somehow now, but I'm skeptical that this one is so step. At least that works. But if I connect here now and now click step, no can do. Oh, that's even a reset now. Like that. But if I change this now, but now it's. So yeah, this is a little bit big. But I can finally try this, right? So from one we will go here and then that function call minus that. Huh? Then B. Minus 1. The function called topic. The minus 1D goes here. But why isn't this? Duplicate to trace. Compile all. This function to nothing. So this is nothing. The command block that. So what is EB data? Data nothing. What the hell? Oh, I use EB command instead of EB. Okay, that was a silly mistake again. Like you call get list element on something that isn't even a list, and the program will happily return like an empty value instead of giving them. Like, why you do this? Why you do this? Again, took me like how much? 10 minutes to find this problem because I don't get a warning that I'm using get list element on something that isn't. That oh, so it actually did go into the define from the. Okay, that's we go call and back. Okay. So what about the returns? Yes. Now we need to look at the stack and go back. Now. If we go back to the call block, then the call block will go back into the function. We will get. So we need to go into the next block of the call. So let's go into call stack, duplicate get list count, or you know what, first well, we need to make sure that there is at least one block in it, right? So call stack get list count 1 greater than or and so then we get the last element, which is constant duplicate get list count. Okay. I forgot. Or we could prepare to list and then get the first element. I don't know. Well, let's do it like the one subtract get list element will go into EB call, because this was the call block that called this function. So next we like copy paste this basic. Except call remove. Now I could like put just duplicate to here, but I think we can. Now what next? We need to check the next the next position of the EB call. Right? So EB call block next. Get list element, and that will go into the next block item. Well, let's try it out. But first, we need more function. Let's do another call and another return. Now the space is getting tight. Let's just duplicate these two. But have higher by one. Perfect. Go by. Go. Okay. So this function will just push to. Oh, we don't need another. That's what it. So that's what. So before we start, we just call this directly and then we save it. Then we push down, read from A, add the header, then we call this one again, then we duplicate to and save that. Will this work? Well, I have no. So step into. So that steps in. Push to and return steps directly there. Well, as I said, I would be more happy if the return step there and from there it went on, but again, as I said, there's not much. So this is. So I just wrote in. So push one on back, reach from, them to hidden call. So go here, so put and return, so go back there. Right. Okay, so it's like it does what it's supposed to do. So that's nice. Maybe another window for a call stack could be a thing to do. But yeah, the thing to do now would be to add the command creation. So players can define the blocks themselves and maybe add a better way to link them. Right? So when I put them next to each other, it gets linked like this, which is very nice. But if I use the alternative here, then if they were linked just like that, and I guess that would, but I guess we can. But what if I make like these two an output and these two an input? So the block can either link like this or like this. Well, how do I deal with an if that has like two outputs? Let me check this for the thing. Well, I guess if it is if both of them are active, then like they would switch. So instead of rendering it like this, they would switch around and it would be color code. So the line renderer, it would have like a completely custom renderer. So if that makes sense. And I guess that's it. I guess that's it for this video. Because as I said, from now on, like I even did the function as a proof of concept. Now I would probably need to make sure that if I call a function from another function, that it works properly. But I'm confident that it. So let's clean up the code a little bit. Find trace. How much? Yeah, other purpose solution that can stay there. Just no, not if I do too flashy. I wanted to do like a regular expression for this and remove. But that would take longer than doing it manually. So let's not do that. Oh, that would be dangerous. Okay. So if I recompile again, okay, let's just define to push one, return, and then call it slicer. Let's see. Push it one, but then to get to an riser. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it works. So what it needs next is two modes, one where you move around and rewire, and another mode where you execute, because right now you can rewire while it is executing. However, the next block is computed like once I go here, the next block is, so even if I rewire, it will still go there. And the same here, now the next block is already set. So even if I rewire, like I would have to listen that if I rewire, then the next block could change it, but that wouldn't work, because then I would have to remember if I want to use the normal next block or the alternate, right? If I do this, then like I would have to remember, and some blocks were completely different. So this will also be more in line that you first write the code, then you compile it, and then you execute it. So you like cannot change the code as it is. So I think that will be like more in line with how there is programming. But like you can still do which you can't really. I mean you can with a violin, but you don't need a violin to create a like if you know what I mean. Well anyway, I think that's it for this video. So what do I do? I need to say. So thanks for watching. I know this wasn't probably very interesting, but I don't know if I'll return series. Maybe I will. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you.